So after UConn and USC, South Carolina coach Dawn Staley sent out a post that said, say it with me now, thank you, women's basketball. And I think that's just a tremendous sentiment where we are right now. Thank you, women's basketball, where that's a showdown marquee game. And we're seeing more showdown and marquee games all the time. And I'd even offer this. I think the women's game is superior to the men now. I mean, Caitlin Clark at the pro level is a bigger star than anyone who has come into the NBA. Since LeBron and Steph, she is the next face of basketball, in my opinion, right? So at the pro level, you have this star that captivates audiences more than anybody else that the NBA has. And then at the college level, you have stories and players people care about because they've been there, they've had battles, they've had matchups, versus on the men's side, guys, either don't go to college because they're playing somewhere else, they're coming from overseas, they have a cup of coffee in college, all these things. You don't really grow attached to their story like we're seeing with Paige Beckers, has been at UConn for a minute. Obviously, Juju Watkins bursting on the scene last year. Players like Flau'jae, Hannah Hidalgo, so on and so forth. And then there's the stylistic aesthetics aspects of the game where I think you see more variety in the women's game. So, I would have thought this to be insane to say at a different period in my life, but I'm not so sure the women's game doesn't surpass the men's in the future. I mean, we've seen the national championship game outrate the men's. It can happen. We've seen games on NBA TV of the WNBA outrate the NBA. So, I mean, just really feeling that growth and that vibe. And I know I talk about it, and I know I'm probably more biased than almost anyone on this subject because of the way it's influenced my content, my life, my business, all these things. But I really am feeling that energy right now. Because all we're talking about with the NBA and the men's side is how do you fix the NBA? What's wrong with the NBA's ratings? And then when you look at the men's college game, there haven't been these players that, people have grown with. A lot of the hyped players on the men's side haven't exactly lived up to the expectations. Zion's dealt with injuries and other things. Ja Morant, self-inflicted issues. LaMelo Ball, a lot of these hype names didn't take it to the next level. Luka Doncic has lived up to the billing. Victor Wembanyama is living up to the billing, but Luka is international. Wemby is also international and a big. There just hasn't been that, there's also not these storylines and rivalries and things like that. We're already talking about, Caitlin Clark against the Connecticut Sun, right? Now that Stephanie White is the coach of the Fever. Or Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson. Can Caitlin overtake her for the best player in the league? Who's the best 22? Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, of course, with their rookie years. Paige Beckers against Juju Watkins. We just saw it. Is Hannah Hidalgo better than Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins? We just saw that too. So, I mean, women's game lit. It's on and popping.